Hello everyone, this is Verde and I am back. My power is back. And therefore I am back. You can see there is a different background going on here. Not that much because, well, I had like 3 tons of things to do once my power went back. But you can bet tomorrow we will have a day pumping with features. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the new background. It isn't that beautiful, but it is something. It is no longer square and it has some parallax, which is, well, something. What else? Should I? What else? I have in mind some idea here that could really make the game, could really take the game optimizations to another level. Which is something that I will try to do between today and tomorrow. But first, I will have to put in some features. Yeah, features, proper features. Like a new something. Something new, you know? Because the game is very much in the content production phase. So I kinda have to put in a little bit of content, you know? So anyway. There was something here, so there was probably something there. Yeah. As expected. Let me smite some fools. Should I? I really... Okay, I'll keep that as a possibility, but I will not do that for now. So anyway, guys, meanwhile I was without internet and without power and without literally everything, why did I sell this? Okay. In that meantime, I went there and edited every YouTube video to contain tower defense with an S, because even though defense with a C is a right word in English, it is not the name of the tag. The game tag is tower defense with an S, I do think. So anyway, I changed that, and I also changed the languages of the video and a bunch of stuff that I really didn't know there were there in the first place. But then, and I changed those. Let me check here. Oh, Marsamite, yes. I have some ideas about some changes I will want to make to loot rarity, but yeah. I want to implement between today and tomorrow perhaps a new point, a swamp point of interest, a swamp exclusive one. I still not know what I will do there, but I will. And I like the idea of having the cold zones. This sounds a bit lazy because partially it is, but having a cold zone, the cold zones literally be some places that perhaps you want to avoid because they are devoid of that many interesting points of interest, you know. I also want to implement some not particularly that useful points of interest, just lore entries or stuff like that. Oh, this is funny. And I still have not... Okay, I'll do that today. I'll do a lot of things today. I'll probably will not sleep today. And that's fine, because I only slept for the past 3 days, basically, because of, well, because of Brazil's power regulations. Yeah, turns out that we only have one company. Okay, that's pretty normal. That handles electricity for every citizen. Here in Rio, at least, I do think we do have different companies from different cities or different states. Anyway, we only have one option here in Rio, and you heard it right. It is a company. It is not something of the state. It is not. The state does not regulate that much. It does regulate it because, well, it is a company having a monopoly that should be regulated because, well, but even though they are able to do some very strange things having that monopoly, such as, well, there are some parts of the form we have to agree on in order to use electricity that one of our rights as a citizen is to have our power resupplied within 24 hours if something happens to our power, regardless of the reason, okay? But then the company just goes there and say, oh no, you're not getting power for 3 days. Because 3 days is 24 hours, it seems. Since everything here in Rio is severely outdated, we still, how they control if you should get electric energy in your house, is still someone going there and cutting the cables? Yeah. There isn't even a switch. They go there and cut your cable off. And you have to create a new contract every time you moving, so the contract is due to people, not to residents, which I do think is interesting if they would allow for easy changing of the person who lives there, which they do not. So, well, it is fairly weird how a company can get away with so much stuff. Yeah, I don't think getting away is the right term for it, because it is the Light, which is the company which does that in Rio. It is the company in Brazil that it got the biggest amount of lawsuits. Just straight up a hellish amount of lawsuits. Because they do all of those creepy things that they shouldn't be allowed to. Like, oh, I don't like you. Well, what about I remove your light, what about I remove your electric power for a week or two? That's not literally how they do that, but they can be pretty arbitrary when it comes to reasons, so they cutting off their power. For instance, the reason why my power was cut off was really weird, because I was trying to put that to myself, so I am the one who pays it and not my landlord. And then, yeah, that was that. I was doing that. They basically told me, oh, this process will take time because we are going through a pandemic and such. Okay, no problem. And then they email me, oh, you'll have to pay these bills in order to do this. Okay, I go there, pay those bills. But then some time passes and they decide that, well, no. Coming to think of it, no, we will cut you off your power. For no reason. And they went and did that. And turns out everything I did via the internet was basically useless, because They did not move the account to my name, nor register the automatic payments. So there was that. Okay, I could have been more due diligent and saying if the payments were getting off on my accounts. Yes, I could have been, yes. But I mean, couldn't they at least notify me? Turns out they did notify, but not me, because they never changed the account to my name. They notified whatever person was living here before me, and well, that person could not give two shits about it. Because honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give two shits about me if were notified by a previous place that I lived in. So there was that. And I went out without electricity for a few days. It is a bit sad, but what can you do? They could use some automated method to lead doing the cutting and reestablishing, but no, someone goes there, cuts off the wires, and then some days later, when they decide that you are apt to having electricity in your home again, they go there and put there a new wire. I mean, I have some electronics background. I could do that, but that would be don't know, against the law, I do think. So I waited patiently for them to. Oh my god, game! What? Why? Okay, this will be quite interesting. Yeah, give me this, give me everything you have, because I will need every single piece of those things you have. Because, well, since now I do have extended territory, I will begin doing a little bit of Tesla things. Anyway, that was my rant about electricity. I hope I can move past that. But anyway, electricity here in Rio is a kind of strange thing, as is most of the things here in Brazil. Most of them are severely either outdated or really, they should not be in that way. Like, couldn't they control how if I have access to electricity via some kind of chips act? Or even, couldn't them, every time I'm called and asking where the service is, couldn't them not update my profile in their system, basically putting my stuff 2 days from that date? Because that was something that was happening. Every time I contacted them, I checked online, and my basically time limit for my service to be actually performed was basically every time 2 days ahead of the last time I contacted them. Like, I couldn't even call them and ask, oh, how is that going on? Oh, do I have any news on my power being resupplied? And then the due date was basically extended every time I contacted them, which was, well, at least was quite annoying, to be fair. I do think it is very interesting how they can simply ignore your rights that they give you by the contract. For no reason at all, actually. Anyway, so there I am, here I am with electricity again. And well, I do not have any option. I have to continue working with them because, well, they are literally the only option I have here. It's either that or I will have to set up some solar panels in some land I don't even have. Oh, those are my two options. I could set up some solar panels somewhere, but I would still have I would still, by some power regulations, have to work with them because they have a state monopoly. I do think. I haven't looked into that much into that, but I am fairly sure that if you would have some independent power supply, you would have still to work with light, because that's how things works here in Brazil. They pay the government a lot of money, and that goes not only for light. Here in Brazil there is this very interesting, very convoluted scheme of every big corporation paying the government a lot of money so the laws keep. And I'm probably not telling you anything new, because I do think that happens in USA as well, but certainly not to the extent that we see here in Brazil. At least I think. Anyway, here we always try to mirror everything the USA does, and honestly, I do not think that that is a very good metric. Couldn't you mirror something that other country did? Like, I don't know. And we don't even mirror the good things, aren't the bad ones. I may be a little bit misguided on that, but I do know that everything that I hear that's bad and happens in the USA I see that happening here in Brazil as well. It is fairly interesting, you know. Oh, I'm a maniac got elected. Oh, let's do that here in Brazil as well. Okay. Perhaps they are not maniac, but they are very egocentric, to say the least. So every time, I do think it's very interesting. Like, we try to copy everything that USA does, and that not often comes to our ways. Like, for instance, I recently discovered that USA also has regional monopolies on some ISPs. Some ISPs have regional monopolies as well. I did think that this was a thing that only happened here in Brazil or other non-regulated states, on the non-regulated markets, but no, let the market regulate themselves. I'm getting economic here. Shouldn't. Anyway. So, how you guys are going? I am happy. I got tons of new features to implement because I got some time to think about those. I also got some time to, well, make my house a little bit less of a mess than it was before the time. Not that I used any of the time for that, because, well, me and my wife just stayed there and played Uno for all the days long. And this is really weird, but I do think the swarm is going to slowly chip away my base, and then this is very ineffective against them out of the bag, Because, well, they are ranged. Many things are less effective against ranged creatures. Who would have said? Who would have known? Funny thing, I have emergency batteries come factory, so basically if my base ever gets disconnected, oh, they will be fine. They will be fine. Disconnection is not a problem here. They will be fine for like 35 seconds, while the rest of the base is catching fire, I do think. But I don't think I will be progressing in this match that much, because, well, to be honest, I wasn't that focused on the game. I just wanted to vent it out a little bit how, yeah, things happened. So anyway, what else am I doing here? I don't think I can do that much. I can't do that much in this match because, well, focus is a thing. These fast ones are really cute, but they still need the death animation. As much as they want to murder my stuff with their tiny little needles, they still need the death animation. What are you and how are you this fast? I do think this was one of those fast versions of these. So anyway, that was today's video. Sorry if I got a little bit ranty and political, but that is usually what happens when you cut off someone's electric power from a few days and my game crashed. So, well, that was that. I hope you guys enjoyed my little political and economic and everything rant, and I hope I see you guys tomorrow. So, goodbye.